All right, 6:30. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have May 6, 2024. Call meeting to order. All in attendance. Approval of minutes.
As read.
Mr. Ralph Morton made the motion. Second. Pick one. Vote to approve minutes.
Oh, yeah.
We're all for yes.
We're all
Yes.
We're all for it.
I was watching somebody turn around.
All right, people before council. I got somewhere in this mess. This is Stellar.
I have
I know, I got it here somewhere. And topic of shirts for here it is. For our community watch program and for the people of the village. I'm sure Mrs. Stellar, that's how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Just listening.
You're up.
You're up.
You're up.
Oh, I just came to this.
Okay.
Welcome. Thank you.
Terry did some research on the shirts and safety vests and window clings and entry signs to the village. That would be 15 vests, 15 t-shirts. Is that 70 window clings?
That's 100 window clings.
100 window clings and the 4 entry signs that'll go underneath the welcome to the village of Amanda. Come to about $1,005.35. I think we could take that out of the hedges fund. So actually it would not come out of any tax dollar funds. And I think Mrs. Stellar would be very happy about that.
What's the difference between the neighborhood watch and then the village employees and the vests for volunteers? Is
Well, that's the second on my list.
oh, okay.
But since
I'm caffeinated
I
today.
know.
I was gonna say, I don't know that I need so many vests, but
Well, everybody should have the best,
Oh, okay.
you know, that's safety.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, I mean, Barry's got his yellow on. So since you're here, I'd like to go over this with council with that to approve. And on the shirts, there's options here. The 15 vests for us is for when we have a community event.
Smart.
We have people that help out.
You know, if we have trash pickup day or something like
At
that.
the end of the day.
The t-shirts, hoodies and polos. I would like to see us all get something so we can be recognizable and unified.
Yes.
I personally like polos, but t-shirt would be all right. If we wanted to go with t-shirts for everybody that says council member, mayor, employee, we could do them for about $15 a piece with our seal on it.
Yeah, it's just depending on the size, $14.50 to $18.50.
And, you know, if that's what council decides to do and we want to buy a polo with the same emblem on it, personally, then we would have all the same logo and design. I would like to offer to council that we approve these 2 items. One, for the safety of the neighborhood watch. It's very important on that one. And any opinions on the employees and elected officials of the village.
I agree.
And we can get it out of the hedges fund, which is because it is a community thing, like, and I'm gonna state it again, it won't be any tax dollars being used to support this.
I would say we go with polo because that is a dress shirt
Yeah,
more than a
T-shirt.
t-shirt.
Truthfully, I
Down
think
in
polos
there
are a lot
somewhere.
nicer too.
and
Call
someone
it-
wants to buy a t-shirt, I'll probably buy a t-shirt if it's
I
true.
wear a polo.
Yeah, so,
I bet you just. I'll probably buy a t-shirt too.
yeah, okay. So I offer this to council, it's in your hands.
What is Hedges?
Hedges is two elderly ladies that passed away and had money. They donated to the Fairfield Foundation in lieu of the village, the township, and the school. So they take the interest and generate it a little bit to each of us each year that could be used for anything that's going to benefit the community. And it just accumulates. We've used it in the past for park stuff,
That t-shirt's
replacement of a
the best, right?
vehicle. You know, we've used it for safety or training.
I'm asking-
You get a copy of
I'm
this, Ralph?
asking you, I'm not asking you.
Yeah.
He does, he's got it.
I'm good for t-shirts, but I think you said best word for it.
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna do it, we'd be stupid not to get vests, because if one person does not get injured because of this, it's,
So this would be the
So,
whole thing. This would be
I
the
wanna
total
make a
for
motion.
all of them.
This is neighborhood watch.
Very
All right.
discussion.
all right, we can do that.
Is that okay?
Let's do it in two parts. I
So,
offer the council the neighborhood watch package.
I make a motion we accept.
I second.
Vote for the neighborhood watch package. All right. And since we're on this item, I'll continue. The village employee invest for volunteers and the signage. I offer the council that package.
I agree.
I wanna make a motion that we get polo shirts.
Let's just accept the,
And then if
let's-
we want, need to
let's
buy
ex-
anything else.
let's accept the
then
proposal and we can make our mind up on that.
I accept the proposal.
I'll second that.
All right, vote for. All right, that was done. There you go.
Thank you.
And I've still got you on my note list to come down and see you.
Awesome.
And I get my wife shaking around. All right, Mr. Marshall, how you doing?
I'm well. Everybody,
Good. Looking good down there.
thank you. Thank you. We're very happy. Concerned through traffic on the property. Years ago, Donnie Hendricks said you can't shut it off. We've never shut it off other than one time when Don came down and said, can you open it after work? Because they ended up having a squad run or something that night. I want to be a good neighbor. But our concern is safety of employees, safety of customers. That's it. A few years ago, Dad put speed bumps in with the asphalt grindings. That seemed to help a little bit. I do not want to shut it off. I want people to be able to get through. But we've got to figure out somehow to get them to have a little bit of sense and respect. that we're
Oh, I've
trying
seen
to
them go through there pretty fast.
Yes, and
While
I'm
I'm
not
going
gonna
for
name
dog food
names.
pickup.
And Mallory says that I shouldn't go visit these people personally, but I'm tempted to cross that line and go visit them personally and be civil and polite about it. That's who you gotta be. If we're not civil and polite, what are we gonna accomplish? Nothing.
That's right.
So I'm gonna try that. And if I'm just coming, to voice my concerns, I did to Carrie. I asked Don a few years ago to put up a speed limit sign, that didn't happen, but it wouldn't have made a difference, Don.
Yeah, I know.
Slow down, whatever. If they're gonna go like a bat, they're gonna go like a bat. And again, I don't wanna shut it off, I just got to slow it down somehow. Short of closing it off.
So what, are you thinking that like during business hours, you're wanting to close it off for like business
I don't wanna
hours?
close it off.
If it comes down to that.
If it comes down to that, I hope it doesn't. Cause
We have paver coming in and doing some paving in the village. What if we put real speed bumps in that you have to slow to go over? Will that affect your
do it on the
engines?
west end. Dad put his out in the middle by the old original bulk fertilizer building, but if you would do one on the west end and have a real asphalt speed bump, that would help, because as you come through that West High Street, and it curves around. If you all been through there,
Yeah.
you know there's potholes like this, which we intentionally do not fill.
Yeah.
And the village never has either. In 46 years, I've seen one load of gravel put in those holes. And they pick up the snowplow, and that's okay. We have loaders. We will maintain it. We have maintained it, which I'm not gonna get into much of legal crap about whose it is and whose it isn't, and who has right of way. I wanna be good, but I need people to slow down so we don't have somebody injure a customer. Who was in the other day? Tiffany Cooper from Stoutsville, and her 4-year-old got out of the truck. And it wasn't 2 minutes later, and good heaven forbid Mallory's dogs get hurt. That I wouldn't want to answer to that person, but safety. Speed bump, yeah, Mark, thank you, Mr. Mayor. A speed bump on the west
We've
end
known each other for a long time.
would be welcome.
Definitely.
I
Because
don't
they
want
do
one
fly
on
by.
the east end because that's going to impede our people. And when we have people coming in with a truck and a trailer, or traffic, it's gonna be hard on your passenger vehicle. But if you're coming in with a load of something, and you know, we have semi-traffic, we have customers come in with gooseneck trailers, whatever.
You know,
Let's
those,
start there.
it's the speed bump that goes like this and then it comes back down and it goes back up again. So it's almost like a double speed bump. I think it would slow people down for a double speed bump over there.
So,
You're talking west side.
West side,
Yeah.
right there at the old railroad, right where the
Okay.
railroad was.
What are you saying on this east side?
Nothing,
Nothing.
So,
for the time being.
Try this and see if it works.
Yes,
It'd be a simple fix, wouldn't it?
that's,
A double
whoever
speed bump,
offered
yeah.
that, that's good. I like that. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, asphalt and a true asphalt speed bump is,
I've seen people go through there like a bad idea, and it's,
worrisome.
yes. Now we'd have to do it on the village property, not yours.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I do, and when we're not gonna, that's not a smart aleck smile.
No.
That was
we
That
will
was a
come talk
question.
to you, or
You
someday
know-
we'll
you
come
know-
talk to you before that is done.
Let's walk out there and look.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe on
And it
top of
needs
the
to be
railroad.
right at
track.
the old railroad bed.
Yeah.
Because initially our property, according to the deed, from whenever went to the center of the rail line.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care.
Okay,
Put it on the rail line, put it on my side, put it on I don't care.
we're only talking 20 foot of asphalt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could very well answer when those that don't float. And so one time she comes through fine, the next time she's in a hurry and late. I understand that.
And if it works, it might be something that, you might consider in the middle, something similar, or
If it work on that end and get them to slow down initially, I can live with the rest of it.
okay,
As long as they don't come over the bump and then punch it and
well,
throw it around.
that's,
And that's yet to be determined.
that's people are who they are.
Yeah. I understand that.
So
That's,
I offered the council that when the Keystone's in here, we get with Benny, I'll have Benny come down and
please.
walk with you and we'll get an idea of what they say a speed bump is.
Mhm.
But we want to build it big enough that it deters what we're talking about.
Please.
We don't want a 4-inch speed bump.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great temporary fix. But I think that we need to seriously consider closing High Street off as a dead end on that, leaving your parking lot alone. But there's a walking path right there.
Yep.
Why not make that a dead end? You have just as much access to Main Street if you go down and go out than you would driving through your parking lot at 30 miles per hour is too fast for your parking lot. You have pets there. You have
Yeah.
people there. There are loaders trying to work. I think that we should,
Yeah.
8-year-old kids.
I mean, your customers can still access from McKinley as well as Main Street on both sides. I really think that would be best if we seriously consider making that a dead end and putting, a stop up there so that the walking path is also open
Well,
without danger to anyone riding bikes or walking on the walking path
there's
down that
a few
way.
issues here.
Yes,
One
sir.
is public safety of the fire equipment,
Yes,
emergency equipment.
my point.
And
Don.
2, it already is a dead end street.
Yeah.
Because I talked to Barry and Paul, what, about 10, 12 years ago, Barry?
Probably.
You ain't going on.
And,
But we didn't stop.
and I think
No.
the
Let's
the
stop
seven of us and Barry would be the one that takes the heat to close it off.
What if we allowed him to install a gate?
That thought's crossed my mind, but I'm gonna go
No,
back. to
well,
this
you
one.
know, a dealership experience, I know about the large iron gates.
Yeah.
Something that the fire department could access if needed, you know what I mean, if they needed to, but otherwise it's closed off, it's your parking lot.
They shut the gate.
Hmm?
They would put a lock on it.
You'd have to put a lock on it. Or you could,
Then we'd have to cut the law.
They would have to
Where's
get out
that?
and
You could do
unlock
a-
it.
you
If
could do
there's a
an
squad
electronic
running
gate.
down,
So
you just
take
bust
away
through
from
it to
your-
get
Well,
it.
that's-
How about an electronic gate?
yeah, but
No, you can't
how many
do
times has how many times has the fire department rolled through that particular intersection in the last year?
How many
One time.
times will it get through?
How-
It
how
might
many-
happen the next,
Sure, the
10
whole end of town
days.
could catch
How many
fire.
times does it take to avoid a tragedy or to cause a tragedy?
That's what I'm worried about.
Right.
yeah,
Seconds, it can matter. John, you guys lived that when we had problems last summer,
oh, yeah.
and they
I
lived.
just think it
And
bears
he
some
came down like
discussion.
2 days before and he said, will you move your vehicle at the end of the day? And it was not within 2 days
Mhm.
that you had an emergency with a
Yeah.
child
Yeah.
at the other end of town. So I'm gonna say I would not wish for a gate at this point, not to disagree with you. But for safety for people at the other end of town.
Why don't we try the speed bump first? And then if it doesn't work, then we'll go to something else.
Will you come back and revisit us in a few months
I will.
after that's
I
installed?
will,
Yeah,
I
the
will.
speed
And
bump.
I
Can you give
don't
us
mean
an
to shoot
update?
down your suggestion by any means.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep it open. Be a good neighbor. I mean,
Yes.
I wouldn't want my child or my grandmother waiting another 2 minutes for them to come around. 2 minutes can be critical.
Now, the old railroad bed where you store your pallets and stuff, is that being used by?
That railroad bed is not, is the railroad, you remember, you all
Yeah.
remember, most of you, where the actual railroad ran.
Mhm.
Okay, where we store the pallets between the two buildings is probably out of the railroad right of way. I've got those deeds and I can look it up
Oh.
if necessary. I don't feel it's necessary.
I-
We're now keeping the pallets between the salt, what we call the salt barn and the garage. And I wish the guys, the druggies would go back to steal them on Sunday nights. We get too many of them.
I
Um,
also take them.
they would used to come in during the day when they had money and pay for them. Now they come on Saturday night. But anyway, we're trying to keep that stuff out. We have heard the comment, and I do not mean to go on about people walking the bike, but I don't want to walk down that scary alley. There's all kind of junk and trash. Who knows who's lurking back there? It's a constant effort to keep cleaned up and try to
Oh,
look appearances, make appearances look better, and we're constantly trying to keep this scrap picked up. And I said, put that scrap metal behind the garage. People can't see it till we get it all behind. So
yeah.
a speed bump for now would be wonderful.
Speed bump for now, but my question is anybody using vehicles on the old railroad bed?
Yeah.
See,
We are,
oh, you are, well, you're allowed to.
right.
That's
And
what-
occasionally, Roxanne Mansell come down the other day, and we had a truck sitting there unloading. She just casually went on down
Okay.
the old access road to Main Street, and went on about her business, respectfully.
All right,
I'm
so I offer to council that we have Mr. Hedrick and Mr. Marshall scope out the area and with, was it Keystone? While Keystone's in here and then have them apply a speed bump that would be effective. Not a wimpy one, a real one where you
Yeah.
have to slow down to go over.
Yeah.
And we'll have to make sure that we signage it, that there is a
Caution.
speed bump there, yeah.
Do they come through like all times of the day or
Mhm.
night?
Yes.
Or we go home.
Someone will make a motion to that?
I make a motion, we put a speed bump on the west side of the mill on High Street to slow the traffic down for Mr. Marshall and his business.
And a sign there too.
It has to be signed, yes.
Put a sign there. I'll second it.
Don Simpson makes a second, a vote for the speed bump. All for.
If-
Thanks for your,
Thank you, folks.
thanks for bringing it to
No,
our attention
right.
that See, you know, we have to have the business owners and the property owners start the process so we can finish the process.
Understand? Don't sit down there and complain, come up and voice my concern.
That's right.
Thank you.
Barry, thank you.
If the speed bump didn't work, something that we did, and I don't know how it would affect the fire department, but we had movable posts with just the latches. It keeps people, we can very easily unhook it when we need to.
Same thing, I just set 2 posts, 24, whatever feet apart, and put a 4-inch cable,
Yeah,
a plastic cable across it that they can see. Come up now, say a few choice words, and look around and go, "Man,
Yeah.
And then that could be taken down at night, simply a latch or whatever. That's gonna be the easiest, and
Yeah.
not objecting and not putting down the gate issue.
That's okay.
Um,
You have to do what works.
Right.
Right? If it works.
we can get along.
And
Good,
Especially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, sir.
thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your-
All right. I think that was a good solution to try. All right, so that's people before council. Mr. Hedrick's not here tonight. I think Carrie has an overview of his.
The Light Street, you guys got the paper on the bid openings and the thing from Trevor and Alan about their recommendations. So they do need to do the award tonight. That way they can, award it and get the, pre-construction meeting done in the next few weeks. That's the thing for.
Yeah.
What's your names?
Key paving.
McKee Paving is who the recommendation is for.
Out of the 4 bids.
It's.
Yeah.
All 4 bids.
So, I guess the committee decided that this is the McKee Paving and Sealing LLC, Kimberly Road, Nelsonville, Ohio. Light Street Improvement Project will include resurfacing the existing street along with pavement repair and sidewalk repair. It also includes new storm sewer and catch basin. That's for the flooding problem we have right there.
I do have a question about it though. There's something going on Light Street, down from my house. Looks like they're building a house there on that lot. What are they doing?
That lot and 3 others is owned by the Mills Brothers here in town. And they came a few years ago, got a variance to put in duplexes for elderly, handicapped. They are just putting in the dirt right now to level up all the lots, in anticipation of construction.
The reason why I bring it up is because we're gonna spend all this money on this new street, but then they're gonna have all this heavy equipment coming in to build these houses.
Well,
That
if they
street,
tear it up, they'll have to end up fixing it themselves, not us.
and that street is beyond, it hasn't been touched.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I went to school and we took that parking lot just out there today and that's 47 years ago. So that street's 50 years old
Mhm.
and it's falling apart. The storm drains are collapsed.
Oh, that's all.
So it needs our attention.
Okay. But that's
Um,
good to know though, that they're responsible if they do mess up our new street.
So the owner has considered the bid submitted to you on April 18th of 2024 for the above described work in response to its advertising for bids and instructions to bidders. You are hereby notified that your bid has been accepted for items in amount of $366,906.52. I offer the council this document to accept the key paving, which is recommended by our engineer.
What's the additional bid here? Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I was gonna make a motion, we accept it, but you
I wanna know,
accepting that.
well, I wanna know the part
They've
where it
done
says
it,
additional.
they've done it too, because, there's a section where Lice actually ends and it turns into an alley. They had it set up to pave the whole thing, all the way from that end all the way around to School Street. But the problem is Ben was worried that section would put us over our allotted estimate. So he had them quote it in 2 separate, but both of them combined still keeps us where we need it to be.
Okay.
So it is fine.
And they're both in with that 366,906.52.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we accept
Mr. Ralph Martin made a motion. Second,
I'm second.
Mr. Rod. It's second, we'll vote for the proposal. Okay, open sign.
The next thing on Ben's list was the alleys. Yes. He's got that's the Keystone quote. We had, estimated and put aside like 94,000 to do alleys this year. This whole thing comes into 82, which is under what we, like set aside for it. Keystone is the ones we done last time. There's, 2 alleys that actually get paved, and then the other ones do the tar and chip, and that includes and fixes all the alleys except the 2 main ones, which is paved already. And we think there might be a couple little that we don't really need to do anything, except maybe a couple little spots that might need cut out and then repaved. So we thought we would ask Keystone how much they charge to, if our employees cut out little sections and have them put the thing in while they're here, which would still be under our estimated budget, what we had set aside for it. But we were so happy with them last year that that's any recommendation.
And plus, we would be adding the speed bump at the mill.
Plus, we'll be adding the speed bump for the mill as well. Now, they're the ones that put the asphalt base instead of a gravel base, so they put an asphalt base before they do the tar and chip on top.
So what was the total bid for Keystone this
It's on the
month?
top right there. 82,000,
Oh.
whatever. Right there at the top. Right here.
Okay, Keystone's on
So
the
clear
table.
up there, you could have circled it.
Well,
I didn't
if
like
she would
that.
write it bigger and.
I didn't write that, Ben did.
Keystone's on the table. The motion to accept Keystone?
And how many alleys is this? Just by.
It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alleys, I think. Behind Methodist Church, this section right here,
6.
6 of them, right?
from the ones that go from Kirby all the
Yeah.
way down, both of those, and then there's one on the west side.
I make a motion to accept Keystone's offer, and Ms. Ayers would have had a map and
I do have a map.
and would have given each one of us, she wouldn't have to be standing here doing this and we try and
Actually,
read her.
she disclosed that
I did
like
give everybody
3
maps like,
meetings ago.
All
Yeah,
right,
but she could have reviewed it.
Where's
Mr.
your
Ross?
notes?
hey, let's stay on track then.
Okay,
I second.
A vote to approve Keystone for rallies.
Yes.
Okay.
The speed bump needs to be added on there,
Yeah, I
so
got it ready.
thank you.
The next one's crack seal.
those are the ones that was approved a couple months ago. He thinks that they might be in here in June doing that. He just wanted to let everybody know. The well, like he told you guys last month, the EPA did approve the location for that well. And we were waiting for fall season, so it'll be June or July that they'll be, drilling for it.
Okay.
And then we've already got our estimates, since we're putting in the piping and the electric ourselves, to do afterwards, so we've already kind of estimated that.
All right, the culvert finish up. right
Yeah,
there.
they came this week and finished that up. And he's, already signed off on it and gave that information to Trevor. Trevor said that, it'll probably be next month that we can final pay voucher to you guys for approval.
Generator.
And the generator, I asked Trevor last week to see if he's heard on the grant application, and he says we keep getting told it'll be any day now, we find out,
Mhm.
but we still have to do on it. And I think that's all that they had.
Yeah. Okay, Benny's, softball team's in, the district up at Marion, so hopefully they see. Committees, Parks and Rec.
I think the next thing we have to tackle is Mother's Day, Father's Day, and I feel like with the Cruisapalooza and the community yard sale, which is difficult, that it should be just that. We're trying to encourage people to participate in the community yard sale. I mean, I don't understand how 3,000 people can show up in Stoutsville one day in August
Yeah.
and we can't get 50 people here in Amanda for our community yard sale. Cruise of Blues is going to bring in a lot of people. I did speak with Miss Mary Daniels this last month about the movie thing that she's been doing, and I think she is partnering with the Grange and going to hand that over to them.
Okay.
So at this point, we're working on the Harvest Festival, which is their own committee, and Halloween is yet to be determined. So
I'd like to offer my suggestion is we go
thank you.
to having our trick or treat night the same night that Lancaster, Southville,
I completely agree with that.
Definitely.
because there's people spending a lot of money because of all the overflow of not our kids.
Yeah. I
participating.
completely agree.
So I guess it's just my opinion, and of course Jessica's on board with me, and we're still in the process of trying to feel how everything goes out. But I think Halloween definitely should be it's like the Saturday beforehand. So we're watching and trying to see when the local communities are putting out their dates. So we're checking about every month just
It's
to see,
usually
Lancaster
Thursday.
should already have it on the calendar.
right? So it's Thursday this year.
Well,
Is Halloween?
we always had it on Thursday, and we had tornadoes in the area and severe thunderstorms. So Mayor Moore canceled Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's pretty bad when Channel 4, 6, and 10 are calling you and asking what's going on. I said, would you want your kids out in this? So we moved it to Saturday. Then the people that were on council at the time thought it was a big time to have a party, and it's supposed to be trick or treat. It's not adult Hollywood time.
I do like the things that you guys did, like the chili cook-off that one year, the costume contest for the kids. Love those
You can
ideas.
still do that.
And so it's just my
That was
personal philosophy that any group that wants to put together an event, and like, I'll say it, I'm on the board for the Harvest Festival. We're our own board. We do our own thing. The only thing we need permission is time and space. The permission of council to hold what we coordinated. So if there's any group that wants to come forward and say, hey, I'd like to coordinate Halloween, then that should be brought before council and it can be dealt with at that point. I feel like our duties on council are more important it's more important to just pay attention to what needs to be done and get stuff done.
Okay, so make sure I'm understanding that. So we are going to have a Halloween event with the parade and all those things, or you're wanting somebody else to step up. If you want like maybe parents to step forward and say, okay, if you guys are wanting a parade with joint voices as parents, and then have a parade, so the kids could still ride the tractors and the wagons with all the football teams. Is that what I'm understanding?
So last year, there was a miscommunication. We had a parade during the Harvest Festival. We worked really hard to get people to come out to be in the parade for the Harvest Festival. And then there were folks who said, oh, we were looking forward to the Halloween parade. And so I had parents who stepped forward, who coordinated the Halloween parade that had nothing to do with the village. The village says this day is trick or treat, and that's it. In the past, there have been individuals who chili cook off, the whole 9 yards. Now, the Harvest Festival is doing those things. Only we're doing it in September. So we're having a chili cook off. We're having a cruise in. We're having an Aces Against
Okay.
Cancer night. We're having all of those things, a parade, baby contest, all part of the Amanda Harvest Festival. Everything that goes on during that time is up to the Harvest Festival board, and all of the proceeds of that go to the local pantries and to the community garden.
I
They're a
like that.
501c3, completely independent of what you see right here.
Right. I do like the idea that you guys, the Harvest Festival has taken on that responsibility and I'm glad that we're talking about it so that the community knows too, like you're
Right.
still going to have them. They're just going to be in September and not in October.
Right. So if there were a group of parents who said, hey, we want to have a Halloween celebration and they want to coordinate that and all they need to do is put it together.
Right.
Come to council and say, hey, we'd like for you to block off the street during a certain number of days, and we want to have and coordinate that. And we would it's just space and marking off the streets, and they would handle it. We handle it with the Harvest Festival. The only thing this board does is mark the streets off for us and help us put the notice out to the community on the webpage, and that's all the council's really, that's all
I
we
don't
need to
think we
do.
really need an extra one in October if we're already gonna have
Well,
all that
let's-
fun stuff in September.
If,
Well, we
if
want
we're gonna
trick or
discuss
treat.
this, it needs to go through the Parks and Recs Committee.
Right,
Then come here. We're not gonna waste 14, 15 minutes talking about, are we or are we not going to move Halloween to trick or treat to the same time that most of the local government bodies are doing?
Yeah, I agree with
That
that.
is what I'm offering to you. Now,
Okay.
You either say no or yes.
Yes.
I make a motion that we have Halloween trick or treat the same day that every other community in the central area
Yes.
has.
Yes.
All right,
I agree.
Mr. Rod Morton made the motion. Have
I'll
a second.
second.
Like, they're not always the same, so do we just wanna go by Lancaster since that's the biggest?
Yes.
These two
Go
majority
Lancers.
rules.
Yeah,
Whatever Lancers got.
all right.
They
Let's
always
vote
did it
for
in the past.
Yeah,
Vote
we
for
did.
it. All right. Not to cut
Who
you short,
seconded
but
it?
we,
No, I
we,
really
right,
appreciate that.
we don't need to spend 15 minutes on
I agree.
knowing what the Harvest Festival's gonna do when that could be in the park committee report. Zoning, Mr. Hedrick's not here.
And he
What
had,
do
he
we
said he
do?
had nothing.
Budget. When's the budget meeting?
Oh, you guys,
May 20th.
that's president and council there. May 20th?
Yeah, May
I'm
20th.
just asking.
Noon.
Yeah.
We have something.
What?
So recently, we had come to find out, zoning wise, that we don't have anything in place that keeps from people bringing like container homes, building barndominiums in the village. We'd like to change that.
So that would be committee to do that. And then, yeah.
That's your zoning board.
That's what we're doing right now.
If, I'm gonna bring up
You have to-
something.
Wait a
with
minute,
Sign
Dennis,
this.
Dennis has got a something to say about the zoning.
Okay, I'm ready.
the county is going with a countywide, citywide, village-wide zoning code. There's the preliminary part of it. Mark's got a copy of it. This is gonna take months to do. So right now, they held the first meeting the 23rd of last month. There was mayors there, different zoning inspectors, things like that. And they're gonna come up with a overall code. And it's gonna be a universal code, but you don't have to use the whole thing. You can pick pieces out of it if you want to as a village. It is gonna be a great idea, because they're bringing in some new things that I know you don't have in yours. And it'll be good for you to take a look at it when it comes out. I do it for Carol, so. I do all their zoning and property maintenance too.
Okay, but still, we got someone with containers, kids living, playing in a trailer.
But if
Well,
it's
that we
not,
already have regulations on.
but if it's not in your code now, it's a violation of your zoning code.
We have a ordinance that they cannot have trailers parked anywhere in the village.
Okay,
A container is a trailer. So that is an ordinance that we can tell them they have to move it.
that's true.
So what you're saying is not to implement or make changes right now, since that already implies to the idea that it's a trailer. The only thing would be
If you
different than
already got
container
it
home.
in, it's there now. I mean, what kind of home?
Well, the idea would be like, there's other, as this new generation is, they're building like barndoniums, container homes, like they're parking a container, cutting holes in it, putting windows in it, and making a house.
It's not part of, it's, your code doesn't allow.
Currently,
Yeah, it has to be on a foundation.
Well, it's still, they are.
Your code's not gonna
They are
allow
on
you to take a
foundation, yeah.
container and turn it into a home. And the new code is not gonna do it either.
correct. So this new code that you had that's coming into play, is gonna have those things in it.
It's gonna have a lot more than what you got now.
I know initially, when Rod and I talked to Dennis, that he would be active in the zoning. And, Benny's got a lot to do. And, I think Dennis Rose needs to be part of the zoning.
I will do your zoning for what you're paying me now along with property maintenance, because I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah. And that's not saying that
Seems like
Benny
you're knowledgeable.
sees something that you
More
can't get to
knowledgeable.
right away. If we put him on that,
I don't know how we, right now, the biggest thing is the village, you guys have a lot of messes in town that needs to be written up in property maintenance.
Yeah.
As far as your zoning, I don't know where you're at. I see places that probably should have a zoning permit. Whether they do or not, I don't know.
All right, I opened the door. Someone either close it or open or let him walk through.
Give you a little
You mean like
background.
having him? Is that what you're getting?
I do the zoning and property maintenance for Carol. I used to do it for Amanda. Back when Mark was the first mayor and then we had an issue after that. I graduated from Amanda in '72, so I'm semi-familiar with it. I did roll brown bales of hay down Main Street at Halloween one year.
I did.
And I'm a property property manager for senior housing. I manage 50 units and I oversee 19 other buildings as far as their recertifications. So
Mike?
it gives you an idea of what I do, so.
I don't want to exclude Benny in the process because I think he needs to be active in it too.
So wouldn't we just do a motion to add him to work alongside Benny?
Well, right now we get maybe 1 or 2 a month,
Yeah.
and Benny handles that, ain't a big deal, but maybe helping find new codes and things like that might be something that you could consider.
He wrote our
Yeah.
property maintenance.
Well, I'd like to put in a motion for
We're gonna
that.
get into that too, but
Yeah,
your zoning code, I brought your old zoning code into you.
Yeah.
Cause I used to do it for the village of Baltimore too.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem doing your zoning code, cause you're not that busy with it.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem, and it would be at the same rate that you said you would pay me for property maintenance. Cause at the time, I thought we was doing zoning and property maintenance. So it's up
if
to
you don't have a
guys.
problem working with Benny, then,
As long as we figure out who's gonna do what then, cause that's
Yes.
gonna be the trick.
well, that's
You know,
where
is
you
the
two
permit's
would have-
gonna go to him, or are they gonna go to me, or,
Yeah.
you know, who's gonna take care of it?
That's where we need to organize that. It wouldn't be a board or the zoning commission or whatever you want to call it.
Because
Well,
currently we're on it right now. So we're saying, okay, if he's wanting to work alongside Benny, we'll let him.
But him and Benny got to work out
Yeah.
a working in agreement.
Yeah.
right? I mean,
I mean,
basically,
you're only looking at 3 or 4 permits a year, or
yeah.
a year. You haven't got into the growth that some of the other villages have got into.
Yet.
Right, yeah,
It's
I
coming.
hope we do.
It's
have
coming.
We're
I can
going
tell
to
you
get
that.
a lot of them
But I
are
think we can
things
do
that,
that
like, pool or things.
By zoning.
talk to Benny and see what he wants to do. If he wants to give it all up, I'll do it, I don't
Okay.
care.
I'll put that in your committee then, so we can have a report next month.
Yeah.
And you want a copy, do you have a copy of the zoning thing? Okay, all right.
You haven't changed it since I brought it down here.
No, I don't think so. Anything else in zoning?
See, feasible for him to work.
Anything else in zoning, Ralph? No, okay, services.
Who's on services?
Dawn and
Yeah. You got anything?
No.
Thing I'm thinking about is going through paving and stuff like that. East Main down there, West Main needs curbs from the old
It's on the
railroad
list.
track, all railroad tracks clear out.
it's only $500,000.
I know, but I was told that that's into the property owner's responsibility to do it.
Sidewalks
And it's-
are.
The sidewalks, curbs and
It
gutters
shouldn't be.
are listed.
Well,
When did it get put into the property's owners to do, no, that we've done.
that
it before.
area is called the Devil's Lane.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you catch the devil. That used to be in the Ohio Revised Code.
Okay,
Are we talking right past the feed mill?
yes,
Right
What-
past there where there's
on
no
the south
sidewalks?
side,
Yeah,
yeah,
there isn't anything. So
there's no
for
curbs there.
children, yeah.
The curbs is getting tore up. Every time when I worked up there, I plowed snow, I tore up the curbs
It's on the
and
list.
everything else.
You're-
And it needs to be done because I've had so many people raising Cain about it and everything.
Well, that all starts with Alan, see if he can start researching grants.
Well, we didn't do it on Main Street. They ended up cut it out because they said it cost too much money.
$500,000.
That should have been done when we done Main Street.
Yeah.
So,
Concretes went from $125 to $200.
I know.
So,
It is on the list of the projects.
Well,
that
yes,
we're
yes.
gonna do, but it's at the lower.
On your sidewalks and things like that, once you put the sidewalks in place, then it's the responsibility of the owner to take care of.
Right, but from the sidewalk to the road, whose responsibility is that?
Where's the
That-
sidewalk at? Is the sidewalk next to the curb?
No,
Some places it
About,
is, some
about
places
3
it's
foot
not.
away.
It's their property, but the curb is yours.
So in other words, the homeowners has got the responsibility from their property clear to the road.
But the curb is your responsibility.
The
As
village's,
the village's
village's
responsibility.
responsibility.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
in the
village's
hi- yes.
responsibility, yes, the
Yes.
curbs,
The
That's
curbs
in the
are-
highway.
not the homeowners.
No,
Okay.
So we have our 5-year forecast, projects. And
After the meeting, you'll get a list of all of them. They're coming
if you
in-
would do that,
Trevor's coming tomorrow to do some quotes
And
and stuff.
he's-
You'll get it all.
because we've been talking about this, because we have other streets,
Yeah.
High Street,
We got
the
Moody.
cul-de-sac.
Moody, Moody needs, a section of Moody needs paved, a section of School Street needs paved. High Street, putting in curbs to avoid the water issue down there. That's that's the top of the list. There is, sidewalks where there isn't none, but there's a safety issue. There's a couple spaces in town on there that's on the list. That is on the list. It's just on the lower end of the list.
So you will have that and put it in our box in the next week. that
After
listing-
the budget meeting.
All right, my suggestion to council is have Benny and Carrie ask Trevor to write a proposal up for a bid. I mean, for a grant.
Okay.
If you want to start this process, because usually you don't get it the first or second time.
Well, you can't
Right,
get, you
right.
don't get grants for sidewalks. It's all out of pocket money. Right now, on the west, on that end, they're going to be doing the ADA compliance, which will do some of the curbing right there and sidewalks, but once, and the ADA stuff,
2021.
we heard last week that we're pretty much guaranteed to get the ADA things, which we'll do up and down Main Street. So depending on how much that ADA comes up with into the sidewalks and the curbing, will determine what else still needs done on that end as well. So
So do you want me to ask Carrie and Ben to have Trevor write a proposal up to start a grant for that? Because that's the
Yes.
only way we're going to be able to afford it.
We need to do it because there's nothing down
We've
there.
got grants for streets up here, sidewalks up
if
here.
it's part of the project, and that's usually our portion that we pay,
But,
but yeah.
If you don't start the process, you're not going to finish the process. So have Trevor,
Yeah, I've got the quote
Okay.
already for $500,000, but it would be out of our pocket.
but there might be a program out there that we're missing. It might be a new program. We don't know unless we ask.
Right.
All right, anything else in services? Don, Ralph? Property maintenance.
Thank you. I'm Dennis Rose, in case you don't know me. Most of you do, but there's a few of you that don't. Start out with property maintenance on your code. After reviewing the 3 code violations dating back to 6/6/23, I feel it's best to start over with them for the following reasons. The deadline was given and nothing was done. Some do not show sent certified information, and no follow-up letters issued by a village attorney, which is something I would do. We would send out a violation, we don't get a response, the next thing would be to get a hold of the attorney, have him send a letter to him from the attorney. If that doesn't work, then you go to court. That's on the zoning code part of it that's existing. If you see it on the back sheet, the back side of it, then. Those
So
top,
you're going to talk to Mr. Nicodemus about the Booth Avenue situation?
is that 120?
Yes.
The lights.
License.
Yeah, I'm in favor of writing it up. I've already taken pictures, current pictures of it.
That's already been to court. Though. So
It's been a year.
Yeah.
Nothing's done.
So do we start over?
I don't
with
know
that?
I don't know what the term,
I,
I'll have to look at it. I don't know what it was a final one.
I didn't receive any of that
You know.
information either. So.
I'll have to get into it and see what goes on
Alright.
first.
I just don't want to
Yeah.
start the process over when all we got to do is kickstart it.
Yeah, so, the next thing is your village property maintenance code is 2018. The new version is 2024. I would recommend updating it. Costs you probably less than $100 to update it. I will buy it, turn it into a PDF. It'll have fillable forms, things like that. And you go from there. If you have any spatial legislation in your existing one, we can transfer that over to the new one.
And we can also add
That's zoning code.
zoning code.
This is strictly property maintenance.
So we're basically upgrading one of our original property.
Yes, your original property maintenance that I bought for you originally was in 2018.
Update to the new.
So I have that for next month.
Yeah,
I
I can create the ordinance that'll amend to update to the new version. That's what we did last time, is just create an ordinance to update.
So you don't want me to buy it till next month?
No, you can go and buy it, well, do not, it loves them.
I'll
they
get
pass
it.
off,
We'll
yeah.
worry about the invoice.
Mr. Rose proposes that we update our property maintenance code. It says it needs to buy a program, which legally you have to own part of that program, right?
Yeah, it's a book, and I turn it into a PDF for the
So-
computer.
Do we want to authorize him to go ahead and start the process so we're not stepping back?
And you're raising your hand, but I make a motion before council that we update our code.
I
And
always forget about this.
that's what, I know.
That's why I keep asking. I'm like,
So go ahead. I know you were going to offer the same thing I just said.
I forgot what you said already.
Elizabeth, do you want to make a motion that? we-
Yes.
I will second Elizabeth's motion.
A vote for the updating property maintenance.
Yes.
All right, all four.
Thank you.
That was easy.
Next thing is your village website. Your PDF property maintenance complaint form does not work properly. Nobody can go in and send it to anybody or
That
print
comes to me.
it. The form's bad, so it needs to be redone. I can do that and get it to you. First, what I want to do is I want to set up a new email for me, for the village. And I'd like to use code.enforcement43102@gmail.com.
Code.enforcement what?
Code.enforcement43102@gmail.com. I haven't got it set up yet, so don't send me anything.
Alright.
But I'll put it in the form, so when somebody opens that form up, they can fill it out. They can hit send and it'll automatically send it to me, and they can hit print and have a copy for themselves. That's
So-
what we do at Carroll.
Motion to allow Mr. Rose to use village email, it'd basically be a village email address. with-
Yeah, you guys don't use .org, do you?
I make a motion for
No,
Mr.
we don't.
He just needs
We don't.
permission from us
Yes,
to
I
represent,
give, we all give permission.
because he's representing the village, he has to have all.
Yeah, because what can happen is once we set this email up, if something you guys decide to get somebody else and leave me out of it, you can use the email address. You just change the password.
Yeah.
So it'll be one that you can keep and use.
All right, there was a first and a second.
Yes.
All right, vote for,
Yes.
that's easy.
And the next thing down here was brought up at the Fairfield County Model Code Kickoff Meeting on April 23rd. Holly Matty, which is with Crossroads Community Planning in the county. She's the one that's running this. She asked me to talk to Mark about the village using the county administrator as a certified commercial building department for the village. You guys don't have one, do you?
No, that was given to them a few months ago, spoken to council. The paperwork.
Preliminary, there was a preliminary
Yeah,
document
and
on
I
that.
agree to it.
Well, you can do it this way, or you can set up your own engineering company.
That's above the scope of our duties and our knowledge. We need to have somebody that knows what they're doing, knows how to do it right, and so,
See, the village of Carroll uses a company out of Columbus for their
Yeah.
commercial building stuff.
Logan does the same one that we do.
Yeah.
Whatever his name was, Tool that we gave you guys.
Tool,
so
That's
then,
okay.
then it said the cost on this is gonna be minimal, like $100
that's for the,
initial setup in the yearly.
no, that's that's property maintenance code.
Okay.
The zoning code down there, I don't think there's gonna be any cost of changing it because the county's paying for it. which is about $10,000 is what I heard.
And what the commissioners told me, they want unified enforcement. You know, they don't want to go to Stoutsville and enforce something this way and Amanda enforce it this way. Lancaster's got their version of day one. You know,
And Lancaster's in on this too.
they're trying to get everything unified.
That's what you talked about, like the meeting before last.
Yes.
Okay.
What it does, when developers come in, they can't beat you up and say, well, I can get a better deal here than I can here.
Yeah.
They're all gonna be the same.
Yeah.
One of the issues I know that was brought up was an overlay plot. And like a future development could be overlaid with, this is what it's gonna be when they decide to change the zoning. It just comes down, which makes a developer come in and he can't change it. He can't pick and choose on it.
So if we would, we'd like to send a request to the Fairfield County Commissioners to get involved with this and start the process of accepting. Is
The
that all?
code part, you don't need to do anything on that. I'm already in there, I can do
Okay.
that.
But we have to want to tell everybody this is what we're doing.
Yeah, you can do that, yeah. I'll be the one going to their meetings, they'll have them every couple months.
So you'll have some information next month on this?
No, it'll be like every 2 months.
Every 2 months, all right.
There's a schedule in there, rough schedule in there.
So does anybody on council have any problem giving Dennis to be our liaison on this and wanting to not do this?
I think he sounds knowledgeable.
It's better than one of us doing it.
Where do you
He
think
knows
I
what
get
he's
most of
doing.
mine? You can't dazzle McMarion, you know. Do you
If you
have
need
any-
a ride along sometime, I told you that
Yeah.
before.
Pardon?
If you need a ride along to go to those meetings and want me to be part of, to go with you, I gladly be part of that.
Fine.
Did
I just meet you, I won't come down and pick you up.
That's right. Yeah, man, that's.
All right, do you have anything else?
Because I will already be at happy hour and then go to,
Do you have
I'll go to
anything else?
No, I don't have anything else.
All
Anybody got
right.
any questions for me?
All right, old business, referring to RJ wants to investigate taking the allotted money that we spend on insurance, health insurance.
Didn't we skip development?
Just took care of that, didn't we? All right, we can go to development. I had it checked off. All right, development, do you have any?
I do. I came prepared.
You develop it.
With my first meeting here, as on council, we talked about some ideas for, revitalization of Amanda. You remember that?
Mhm.
We brought it to the table, Carrie had some ideas. We have talked about this.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And we're in agreement to have some type of revitalization of the front. And it's in our packet that you all received here about 2 months ago. What do I need to do past that?
Find the money.
Correct.
We can't do anything unless the money's been.
Between Trevor's here
allocated.
tomorrow, we'll have him work up cost and
Okay.
things like that.
Okay, perfect.
And you're talking about around the flagpole and stuff?
So some of the ideas when we had talked about this in the beginning was like just to improve the look of the downtown, the things that we
Oh,
can do.
yeah.
Yeah, revitalization of the downtown as we're growing. We're in that cross path of Hawking County, people come tourist area. We're growing, 21st century, do some pretty things to make Amanda beautiful.
Come up with some ideas and work with the money lady.
Yep.
Well, I sit on
Got
the
it.
front porch all day.
Beautiful too.
I stopped and talked to him the other day when I went by.
So go for it.
Yeah, we have some ideas.
All right, so old business.
Old business.
RJ, our village employee or street guy, whatever you want to hire, a service member, is on the insurance policy that was.
It's technically not an insurance policy, it's a shared, it's a Christian company that we submit our bills to, and they, as long as you've met your deductibles, they'll pay for up to so much or whatever. That's what you guys voted on, last year, and this, and we've had it for now 2 years. He never used it, his first year, 'cause he still had other insurance. He no longer has that insurance, so, he's worried about it not being able to cover enough for what he needs. So he was thinking about maybe seeing if Village Service Department and would look into the insurance again, whether he can find better insurance. He knows it's gonna be more expensive, or maybe give a stipend and stuff, or so he can take that money and go help purchase his own insurance or something, so.
But he would have to show that the money is being used for insurance, health insurance, or it becomes salary, and then, you know, you're giving someone a $400 a month raise.
It don't mean what. What was the discussion that his insurance has changed now since he's 30 or 31 years old? Didn't you have discussion about his?
Well, it is different based on his age, but his hasn't changed any at all. His cost, the insurance that kind of whatever it is, the sheriff stuff, his is almost $400 a month, and mine's almost 500 because I'm older. But, and that's what you guys are paying out right now for that. But like I said, he had something else, so he didn't need it last year. He didn't utilize it last year. Now that he doesn't have that other thing, he's going to be utilizing it now. But it's like wellness. Your wellness is only supposed to be a couple times a year, so they only allow up to so many dollars because it's, you know, or whatever, so.
Like an HSA.
I don't know, you'd have to- But I still have all the research from when we looked into other insurance. So if you guys want to look through all that and maybe do your own investigation of what you want to do, he just thought maybe.
Well, I know he's looked elsewhere to an agent in Circleville, and the cheapest he could get per month was $3.99, and the most expensive was $600.
So-
And there was different plans, whatever, there's something that he's looking into. I know that.
So can't do anything this month, but this way he'll have a chance to investigate what it would cost. And we would need to make sure that that payment has to go to health insurance, because
Okay.
then it turns, if we don't figure that out legally, how to do that, it becomes salary. And then you're giving, if it's $400 or whatever it is, I don't know. Have that one. The commissioners passed the solar panel regulations limiting more solar panel farms can be built in Fairfield County. We need 2 people. This would be old business because it's the appeals variance board. We need 2 residents, at least 2. You can either go 2 or 4. We have to keep an odd number to be on our appeals variance board since Mr. McKenzie passed away. So yeah, so Carrie needs to post that in the postings. Certified building, and I'm in the process. I was asked by the Harvest Festival about the old stage up at school. I don't have an agreement yet, but I think I can get the stage. The old stage, we had to buy one as ADA approved because it was inside school. I think I can get the Board of Ed to give it to another public entity, which would be the Village of Amanda. My only issue is where can it be stored in a dry environment? If we don't want to accept this, and 5 years later it goes in the dumpster. So we need to find a place. If we accept it, then, you know,
Just has to be in a dry building, right?
yeah, it has to be in the dry.
Okay, the building up there, we built the second or the third building, it's fairly dry back in there. I mean, there's no water coming in.
Okay.
We could probably store it in there because they rearranged that here a couple months ago, I think it was. There should be enough room in there. I think there's what, 4 pallets of that thing,
I think, yeah,
somewhere around
yeah,
there.
it stacks up pretty tight.
Well, when I was up there, the whole back of that little truck was full.
Yeah.
I know.
So if you want me to, I'll proceed with
Yeah.
getting that rolling, and
So when we do, just make sure there's no leaks. We could always do a couple of repairs.
like it's new farm.
It's not leaking.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
So
I got to know.
that's all I have.
Harvest Festival
I
definitely.
have
was-
something.
Screws and stuff.
Okay, yes.
Shouldn't be.
The bank notified me today that we still have to get Mark switched over onto the bank account. But it used to be that they would just draw it up and then we would go up and sign it. But apparently they have to have it in the minutes that you guys approve for it to be switched over to have Mark's name added now that he's mayor. So,
Does the former mayor need to be removed as well?
yeah,
Yes.
that's,
Yep.
so they needed it in the minutes before they could allow him to sign it. So we just needed to bring it up, so,
You don't need a motion, you
yeah.
just bring it.
we did.
I make a motion that
I'm listening. Correct.
our new mayor be put on the bank list, deleting our old mayor.
Please
Second.
do.
I,
4,
I'm gonna write this down.
Yes.
Thanks, support you. You
Yes,
gotta
yes.
put
Yeah, everybody put your hand up. Okay.
and don't get any ideals that I write checks. This is just to cover if something would happen to Carrie.
We didn't know Christmas bonuses.
No.
Used to.
I don't think it.
But it's just a procedure type thing.
Yeah.
Government has to be able to roll if something happens. Any other new business?
No. About the neighborhood watch.
We did that.
Okay, I just,
This is yours. It's
Yeah,
not
new
mine.
business. It'd be council needs to sign.
Oh,
All right, pay bills.
Make a motion to pay bills.
Second. 4.
yes.
And who wants the duty today?
I mean, have we ever had anybody say, I don't approve these bills?
I-
Well, they can ask questions.
I've
sometimes.
Okay.
I've contested bills before.
Okay.
When I
make a
said
motion to adjourn.
second,
I second that motion.
4.
Yes.
A long-winded hour and 5 minutes, folks.
Let me, get this.
Very apology, I'm sorry.
Gravel dog.
You're the one who wanted girls on the council.
But I did appreciate